Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Caneswear today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to Caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
It's back. The green train is running. Look, Bobby, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
All right. Hello, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to another edition of Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm Bobby Finstock, and that right there is the one, the only Fish Tank. Hey, Fish Tank, how you doing, brother?
Wow, every time I get those intros from you, I feel like I'm special,
You are special, my man. You know that.
Yeah, I'm special, all right, in my own mind.
That's right. Me too. How's your week so far, brother?
My week's good. It's Memorial Weekend. Makes me think of a lot of people that have passed from the military, and I always try to celebrate on their behalf because they can't. So when we were brothers in arms, I used to always say, hey, if something ever happens to me, when Memorial Day comes, party for me, please.
Yeah.
So I still celebrate in memory of all those people that I know that aren't with us today. So that's just what I do. It's just my little thing. It just brings back a lot of memories from people that I've been with that are no longer with us, and it's another way to celebrate, and it brings me unhappiness, but it also brings me the happiness of the memories that I had with those people. So that's why I make it more of a celebratory than a disappointing thing. So, but
of course,
this week has built up to this weekend. My wife was ready. We went out last night. And we actually went to Old Town. I don't know if you've ever been to Old Town in Orlando, but Old Town, we went there and they had a muscle car show. So we went in and we went into the muscle car show. We didn't know, but we just said, all right, let's enter. And everywhere we went, everybody was yelling and screaming and cheering for us.
Nice. There you
so
go.
We were putting out the
Miami
Dolphins vibe and
represent.
Everybody was loving it. The kids were going nuts, man. You got the best car. And there was all kinds of nice cars. It was something else. And, like I said, as we come around corners, people would start cheering and, because we drive through it's a little tiny old town and you drive through the streets of it. And everybody checks out the cars. They do a cruise through the little old town. And that's the first time we had done it. And it was a lot of fun. Kelly liked
awesome.
it. She was whoop, whoop, go Dolphins. And everybody's, yeah.
Oh,
There
that's so
were a
cool.
few Bills fans in there, but you had to have some of them.
You got to mix it up. You got to allow them. If we got to.
Yeah, you can't make everybody happy.
No, you got to keep a little disappointment in your life. Keep you balanced. Old Town. I used to work when I lived in Orlando. I worked at Orlando Harley Davidson. I worked there for a little while until I ended up moving up here. I was a retail manager for the East dealership, but I used to work off the one on I-4, which is the factory. I'm sure you've passed by it. It's a big orange building. And they used to have, even though it's Harley Davidson, we do bike week and bike nights and all this, which was a lot of damn fun. But they used to have those muscle car shows. I mean, and our parking lot was filled with those cars. I mean, you'd see beauties and you'd see oldies and goodies, and you just like, oh my God, that car's beautiful. I wish I could have it. But then you look at your bank account and you go, well, I can't. I could touch it though for a little bit. But that's what I love about Orlando. Not taking anything away from where I am now, but Orlando, there's always something going on. There's always International Drive or I would say downtown Disney, but now it's called Disney Springs. That there's always something, and of course, Harley Davidson. I know. I mean, I haven't been there in years, but I know I still follow them. Obviously, I still have friends there, and of course, they kind of dispersed. But there's always events going on there. You don't have to own a Harley to go enjoy their parties. It's a lot of fun, Fish Tank, and I'd recommend you. I know you love the party. I'd recommend you when there's bike week, take that car there and go enjoy a party because you have a blast at the over there at Orlando Harley.
What makes you think I like to party of all people?
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. You're a goody two shoes. I forgot. My bad. Anyway, let's get to Dolphins and you were saying earlier, and I think someone had said something, and I wanted to kind of come off of that. Let's see here. Well, you were talking about how everybody was very excited at the car show for your Dolphins, for the Dolphins Corvette. And
yeah,
it's so funny because, I absolutely live now. My home base is Tennessee. I live near Nashville here. So obviously the Titans are the number one party in town for everyone. But of course, here, before the Titans, they were the Oilers in Houston. So a lot of Titan fans used to be Dolphin fans. And of course, you have fans from all over the place. You got big time Alabama fans. You even got some Patriot fans, and I've had a lot of people, they've teased me over the years about being a Dolphins fan. I always the stupid, I'm sorry. And whatever, dude, you're probably a bandwagoner, whatever, like the Titans are so damn great and the Patriots can't win a damn game without Brady and whatever. But what I found interesting now is a lot of these Titan fans and Patriot fans and whatever fans and sports fans, and even people who don't really like the NFL are starting to really like the Miami Dolphins. And some have blamed hard knocks, getting to experience Mike McDaniel and company out through that show, the story of Jalen Phillips, others who I know, one of my bosses, he's a diehard Patriots fan, but he's like, I'm starting to like the Dolphins and I'm hating it. He loves how fun the Dolphins are. He loves the speed. He loves the offense. He loves the coach. And, obviously the fans are very excited. So I just, and a lot of people are truly, and I'm not talking about Dolphin fans, but I'm talking outside the fan base, are excited for this football team next season. So I find it crazy to believe that some Dolphin fans, Fish Tank, aren't as confident as some other fans outside our base. They believe our team's going to be maybe a 500 team. I've seen 9-8, 7-9. I've seen some, I've seen some stuff. Now, look, Fish Tank, better than anybody that in regards of people's predictions, etc. I respect it. Totally get it. It's up to you. It's your decision. I said 12-4 last week. You have it 11-6. Right? Again, things change as we get closer to the season. A signing may happen, but those are two fair ratings. Of course, I've seen crazy ones. I've seen them where we're like undefeated until like the very last week, last 2 weeks. Come on. But 9-8, 7-9, close to 500, whatever. I'm a little surprised, considering where this team is at right now. Why is it, Fish Tank, in your opinion, that fans outside our fan base probably are more confident and excited about this football team than actual fans in the base?
Well, that's simple. They've been watching Miami's offense build up. That's what it is. They haven't been paying attention. We're fans. We're all fans. Us Miami Dolphins fans. Us sports commentators, you and I, we are fans. And we look at every little thing on the team. We look at every player, every position, and they don't look that deep into it. And that's why they're saying, the Dolphins are going to do great. Yeah, they've watched the Miami Dolphins build up their offense. But we still have the same issues that we've had, unfortunately. And that's where Dolphins fans, like myself, sit there and say, okay, I haven't seen you do enough on that offensive line yet for me to feel real comfortable saying that we're going to go 13 wins. I'm sitting there going, well, I'm around 11 wins because I don't think that we've built up that offensive line, and our defense isn't solid yet. But we've done quite a bit on bringing in backups, which we didn't have last year, which once we got decimated, we have no way to – we were pulling guys off the street, for crying out loud. That's how bad it was. And now we're set up for the year. We're going to go through OTAs. We're going to go through preseason. And once we're done with all that and the injuries happen and everybody that drops out isn't going to be there, then we'll see what's going on. That's when I'll say, okay, now I think we're at XYZ. And that's, what we did here was we did it way too early to predict. And, it is too early to predict, but it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun, and everybody out there likes to guess and wonder what they're what the team might do and etc. But every year I get more and more excited for this team because they get better and better, it seems. And sometimes I'll sit there and go, wow, they just can't really get any better. And then they go and pick up our number 3 wide receiver, OBJ. And I'm like, wow, he's a number 3 on our team. I don't care if he's 31 or whatever. He's a number 3. I'll take it.
It's such a good point. And I will say, too, of course, outside looking in, I'm talking about outside fans looking in, fans that follow football and other teams, and they see the Dolphins and they see Coach McDaniel and they see the speed of that offense with Tyreek and Jalen, and now you add OBJ and you got Devon Achane and you add Jalen Wright, and you think of that and you go, well, damn, Jalen Ramsey and Jalen Phillips and all these guys. You go, well, damn, if you're a fan outside the team, you're like, that's a damn fun team. That looks like a good team. And of course, if you're watching from the outside in, you watch Hard Knocks for the first time, or you're watching Hard Knocks, you see the team for the first time, you start getting hyped into that. So it's like something what Cap was saying earlier in regards to public relations and marketing, that in that national base is going to start to pick up. You're going to get those fans that weren't fans of the team start becoming fans of the team because they're excited about what the team can do. Now, what matters most is winning. So it doesn't matter how many fans you get from Hard Knocks or et cetera. You have to win in order to keep those guys. Now, for the fans that are like you and I and Cap and Ray and Raphael and Evan Posner, Finstanza, Aladino, Cliff
Junior.
D, all these guys who've watched this team every year, every game, every week. We follow every little detail of what's happening with our football team. The reason why some fans in our base may not be as excited or a little hesitant to say, I think this team can do it, because we've been there and we've done that. You know what I mean? How many times every year, Fish Tank, we whether on this show or beforehand, we've said, this is the year, dude.
Yeah.
We got our guy. We got John Beck. We got Ted Ginn Jr. Man, we got Demukan Sue. We got Mike Wallace. We got Ryan Tannehill, Chad Henne, Chad Pennington. We've got all these guys years after years after years, and we're hyping ourselves up and we're going up and up. And then we see what happens on the field. We see what happens at the end of the season for this current team, this current this current structure. Now, look, that's why I think this team is going to be better than it was last year. I said 11-6. People crapped on me. We were. I'm saying is that I believe this team is going to be better, not because, we've lost Christian Wilkins, we've lost whatever, but Dante Culpepper, there's one, Raphael, thank you. Then another one, we're like, well, we got Nick Saban, we got Dante Culpepper, we're going to do it. And,
oh, come on.
Been there.
We got Dante Culpepper. Yeah. You went, yeah, all right. I was like,
I did.
No.
That's the point. We all said, yeah, all right. We were all excited. No one crapped on not getting Drew Brees because we thought we got Dante Culpepper. His knee is hurt, not his arm. Drew Brees can't do a damn thing. His arm is hurt. Drew Brees ends up winning a Super Bowl, having a Hall of Fame career. Dante Culpepper's with the Raiders and now retired doing TV. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell? That's being a Dolphins fan. So I get it. I can't crap on Dolphin fans who are hesitant to hype up their team. So, it is what it is. I can't hate on it. I get it. I will just say my reason why I believe, guys, that this team's going to be better in regards of record and why I think they're going to improve, whether it's win a game or two in December, maybe not all of them. I'm going to say he did kill it. He killed it with the Vikings, no doubt. Couldn't do it, even though he had Randy Moss.
With Randy Moss, that's what it was.
That's what it is. But I get it. I was excited. I don't think any Dolphins fan was not excited to get Dante Culpepper. The guy had a cannon of an arm. He was athletic. It was gone. It was done. We're gonna start revisiting.
I wasn't jumping off the charts for Dante Culpepper. Let me tell you, I was excited that we didn't take Breeze, just like you, though. I was like, well, at least we didn't take Breeze. And then Dante Culpepper just flatlined. I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming at all. So
Raphael keeps putting on there. It's true. Arian Foster. Now, I want to say, so anyway, the reason why I want to say this very quick before we move on, I would say the reason why I think there could be an improvement, I brought it up last week, is because, this is in the third year. This team has improved every year. It was the number one offense in football. It was a top 10 defense in the last year in the NFL. To us finally in the third year with Mike McDaniel, with Frank Smith and company, Butch Berry in his second year as offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. That matters, guys. This matters. And do I think Tua could get over 30 touchdowns? Everybody knows where I stand, because if you're just tuning in, you're like, oh, he's a Tua stan. No, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm a Dolphins stan. But do I think Tua could get more than 30 touchdowns this season? Absolutely. But what matters most to me is not 30 touchdowns or 4,500 yards or 5,000 yards or 5,500 yards. I don't give a damn about the stats. I care about the record. I care about a playoff win. You get me a playoff win, I don't give a damn. That's all that matters.
You know what, though, Bobby? A lot of people out there, that's all they go by is Tua's stats. They go, Tua is this because of this stat. Tua is that because of this stat. Well, he hasn't won it in the big games, no. But there are plenty of leaders out there that don't get it right the first time or two. It happens. And you're talking about a guy that was half crippled trying to play for 2 years, which was stupid. He should have been sitting out. And now he's ready to go. This is it. He has to fight for this season. All right. He's fighting for his paycheck, just like Christian Wilkins did, and that's Miami's MO. Let the players fight for their position. And if they don't do good enough, we're just going to cut them. And that's how Miami's been working every deal. So everybody that's upset with Tua, that might come at the end of the year. So there you go. There's something bright to look forward to for those of you that are anti-Tua.
Anti-Tua. And Raphael, man, you're coming in clutch with these names because you're getting me. David Gerard, who played for the Jaguars, we signed him. I mean, and I think it was a late season sign, a late off-season signing. I think it was 1 year, but veteran quarterback. And we were like, oh, dude, we got a good veteran. He was a reliable guy in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt. Trent Green, who was in Kansas City all those seasons. I was excited when we brought in Trent Green. I was like, dude, this guy is a veteran. This guy is damn good. And he injured in the first damn preseason game or some crap like that. It's like, man, I get it. All right, let's move on. Jovan Holland.
Please do. I want some happiness.
Oh, it's going to be a long way to go. No, I'm just playing. Brandon Marshall. See another one, Ray. There goes Ray. He's throwing another name. It happens. It happens. I get it. I can't hate on it. Dude, I get it. I feel you guys. Remind me, Kat, Ray, everyone, if you don't mind. Even Josh Wingate, host of On the Clock, with me, Cowboys fan. His wife's a Dolphins fan, but throw in your team record. What you think? It's way too early. I get it. Gus Frerotte. Oh, dude. I remember Gus Frerotte, Minnesota Vikings as well. He played for the Miami Dolphins. I love that. Brian Greasy, the second coming of Bob Greasy. Oh, Greasy's going to lead the way again. I get it. I can't hate on it. All right. Jovan Holland. We Vic Fangio came and left. He spent a year here. Defense improved when Jalen Ramsey came in. The defense was struggling kind of at first. We remember that, Fish Tank, because you were like, dude, this defense is going to be top 10, Bobby. I'm telling you. And it struggled at first. But then when Jalen Ramsey got in there, that defense went, and your prediction came true. And it is what it is. But Vic Fangio, the first time, and I knew it. I told you midseason, people call me crazy. I said, Fangio's one and done. I don't see him staying here. He's going to leave because he's already expressed that he wanted that Eagles job, etc. And what happened? Eagles came, he went, he's gone. He's happy. But as soon as it happened, if you remember, a lot of Dolphins kind of gave a little hints that, hey, we're kind of happy he's gone. Dolphin fans are pissed. We're not. We're happy he's out of here. And Jovan Holland was asked about new defensive coordinator, Anthony Weaver, and what he thought about him and what's his comparison to former coach Vic Fangio. And this it is what it is. It's this was from Hal Habib of Palm Beach Post. Jovan Holland took a new shot at Vic Fangio on Tuesday at Dolphins OTA. He said a complete 180 when asked to compare Weaver's approach to Fangio's, quote unquote. Actually, Weave is super dope, man. Like as a person, as an ex-player, as a coach, you can just feel he understands where we're coming from. He wants to hear us in our input on the defense and then is able to put that into how the defense is called and how the defense is taught. So now he's a great man. Weaver spent 7 years in the NFL as a defensive end. A reporter followed up. Do you think it's the fact that he's been in your shoes as a player that makes the difference? Holland was quick to respond. I just think that it's the fact that he's a good person that makes the difference. Right there. So let me see here. And this is from an article from NewJersey.com. This might be an area where Fangio needs to improve. This is them talking about his coming over to Philly, and they were talking about what he could be. When he mutually parted ways with the Dolphins on Wednesday, some players celebrated that he was gone. Dolphins rookie corner Cam Smith tweeted in an unlocked emoji. Jovan Holland posted a video kicking rocks. Holland's dad also expressed his opinion about Fangio. Quote unquote, everybody loves the iPhone, but nobody wants the iPhone 1. He said on X, Fangio's relationships with Dolphins soured. There was quite a few players on this team that didn't necessarily get along with Fangio, Drew Rosenhaus, NFL agent, said. So,
yeah. When Drew Rosenhaus is saying something, that means the players are coming back and complaining.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly. So, Fish Tank, seeing this, obviously, even just one, it was just a season, 18 weeks. It was a season, whatever. He came and gone. Obviously, though, he did enough where Dolphin players weren't happy with him. They were actually happy that he was gone. You didn't really have time to build a relationship with him, but that it was enough of a relationship that they're like, thank God he's gone, that they're still kind of thrown at. Like, he could have said that, and thank you, Kat. He could have said simply when they asked about Weaver, he's great. I love that he was a former player. We can connect with him. I love the way he's calling plays, blah, blah, blah. And you could have said, oh, he's saying something about, but it's a complete 180 compared to Fangio. And he's just, and Weaver's a good person. And then you're not saying Fangio ain't a good person. So not that matters. Everyone's opinion is their opinion of how you feel about who you want to feel about. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's like, hey man, let's just focus on building up this defense? Let's enough with the Fangio shots. What are your thoughts on all this?
This reminds me a lot of being in the military, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you why. When I was in the middle to at the bottom in the rankings, I would never understand why people were doing certain things. And I always wanted to be the one that was in charge so that I wouldn't have to deal with people that were screwing up all the time and screwing me over. Okay? And I think Vic Fangio came in with that kind of an attitude, unfortunately. He came in with that kind of an attitude. He's going to do it his way, no matter what it takes. People are going to go with his system, and his system is in place all over the NFL. So his head grew and grew and grew, and he thought it was his system, just like Dallas Cowboys Landry. That was his biggest problem, was he felt everything was the system, and you had to go by the system only. But once the teams outgrew those systems, the system didn't really make a difference. And I think over time, players get tired of listening to somebody harping on them for not having the talents they feel that they should have, instead of accepting them for the talents and using them at their best, which is what you do in the military. You take people and you work with what they have their best. You don't sit there and harp on their worst. You don't have enough time for that. You have to work together. And I think rather than Fangio doing things like that, he was a stubborn ass, and it showed. It wound up showing in the end, and they moved on from him for obvious reasons. If you can't work with people, then you're going to not be working too long. And you got to get along. You got to get along no matter what. And he wasn't making an attempt to bridge any gap with any of the players. He was just sending it down. And notice he wasn't down on the field. He wasn't doing a lot of things that a lot of other people would have been doing, in my opinion. But I think that's where the disconnect was in between him and the players. His head got too big, and he felt like he wanted to do it his way or the highway, and he took the highway.
You bring a good point. Harrison, my baby brother's in here, and he was saying the same thing. He hated, and I think we all hated Vic Fangio being up in the booth instead of being on the sidelines. You can't connect with your team or your defensive unit from up in a booth. What's up, pretty boy? Great to see you in here. Raphael up in there as well. He loves your military comments, your military talk. Cliff D, Vic Fangio is a D legend. Cap has a question. Well, I'll just say this. Fangio, and again, I called it midseason that he was one and done. He came down here for a paycheck. It's like someone who they got a job. They go to work. They don't love their job at that point. He loves what he does, but he doesn't love his job. He took the job in Miami for a paycheck. The job he wanted wasn't available to him, which was Philadelphia. He didn't have that job, wasn't available to him. So he went to Miami to get that job, get that paycheck. Yeah. And he knew he was done. So his heart wasn't in it. He had no reason to connect with any of these players. He knew after this, what does it matter what happens? I'm not going to see these guys again. And if they are, they're going to probably be coming to me to try to get a job. That's probably how he's thinking. Is it the right way? Absolutely not. And I think, honestly, when we hired Weaver, the reason why I liked Weaver going in, even if I'm a veteran guy and all this, I was saying other guys, I liked Weaver, and I like Weaver now, is because he is a former player. He's done it. And a lot of these former players turn coaches, DeMarco Ryans, etc. Those guys are damn good coaches. They know how to coach players because they've been in their shoes. Yep. Now, of course, there's coaches there who haven't played or whatever, who are good coaches, but he's going to make a difference. He's younger. He's having a good time. He's making an impact on a lot of these star players. It's going to matter. And he may think, hey, look, even if I get a head coaching job next year, I don't know that. I need to build relationships. I'm still going through my years. Fangio's on his way out, and he wanted that job. Right now, I'm sure he's very loving and sweet and all goody two shoes in Philly because he got his job. So he wants to stay there as long as he can. So he's everything Jovan Holland's ever wanted. But he wasn't going to be that here because he didn't want this job. He didn't give a damn. It's my way or no way. Because what is it going to matter? I'm not here anyway. What do you do? Fire me? I'm already gone. So that's what I think happened. And it is what it is. Miami said, hey, we're going to get a very reputable D coordinator. We're going to give him the money. We're trying to make a run here. Let's make a splash in this scenario. And again, it bit Miami in the ass. And it is what it is. But do I think Miami's better off with Anthony Weaver right now? Absolutely. Just based off his impact on players alone. I think that's going to matter. Is he a better D coordinator? We will see. We will see. A better defensive coordinator for Miami. That's what I meant. We'll see. But right now, is he better for Miami? Absolutely. Because he wants to be here. And the players like him. And the players are probably going to do better by him because they like him. It is what it is. It's a players' league. It is what it is. I want to ask Fish Tank this. Cap is throwing it up twice. And we'll do it. And he says, this is not him. This is Reason. I'm trying to remember what show that is. But anyway, Reason says, he's another content creator, says Tua is better than Bob Greasy. Bobby and Hank, your thoughts on that? Fish Tank, I'm going to let you start on this one. What are your thoughts? Okay. Is Tua actually better than Bob Greasy?
You remember when we started it up and what we had to say about this as far as stats go for Tua?
Yeah.
That's what, if you go by stats, Tua's better. If you go by wins, then obviously Bob Greasy's better. So it's kind of a trick question. It really is. It's opinion based. And if you want to do it at the end of the day, Bob Greasy, right back there, Bob Greasy, he won a Super Bowl. He won 2 Super Bowls. Tua has not. Therefore, Bob Greasy is better.
So, and that's a great point, because I was going to say, who's won playoff games? Who's won Super Bowls? And I will say, and again, as a quarterback, if you're talking about talent, okay, if you want to go there, but remember, this is 2 different eras. This is 2 different NFLs that we're talking about, where Bob Greasy was in and Tua is now. And you look at the weapons and whatnot. I don't think it's a fair question, but if you're talking about better Dolphins quarterback and you're ranking and all this, look what Bob Greasy has done.
Yeah.
Look what he did. I mean, it's like, come on, really? He's won playoff games. He's won in December. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's in the Hall of Fame. Tua, numbers, whatever, and what he could be. Not saying he can't. But if you're saying better quarterback because of talent, okay, we could talk about that. But if you're talking about better Dolphins quarterback all time or whatever, if that's because I don't know, I don't want to put words in Reason's mouth or anything like that, so I don't know what it's about, Cap, and maybe you could clarify. But if it's Dolphins quarterback, come on, man, come on. It's not fair. It's not. It's like it's kind of don't do that. Yeah, now it's not an apples to apples comparison. 2 different NFLs. You got to really kind of dissect where you're coming from. It's like, okay, I think he's a better, talented quarterback. Well, of course he is. But if you want to go there, because again, a lot of these quarterbacks are better than yesteryear's quarterbacks because they have, it's just the game has evolved. Otto Graham, I'm trying to remember if Johnny Unitas, those guys are Hall of Famers. Those are legends. But you put them in today's NFL, they might not fit, but they're still great. They're better than freaking, throw any guy in there, Justin Fields or whatever, because of who they are, what they've done. Until Tua wins a playoff game, wins in December, wins when it matters. People always want to talk about Tua's winning record, and I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just, my thing is everyone's like, he's a winning quarterback. Win when it matters. Win in December. Win in the playoffs. Win us a damn Super Bowl. Just win one playoff game. Win us one playoff game. And then we'll start. But until then, let's not do that. Let's not go compare oranges to apples here. Let Tua grow. He's in his 5th year going in there, whatever. But no, he's not better because he hasn't done enough to be better. Stop it.
Hey, Bobby, just so I know, what do you like better, oranges or apples?
That's a great question, Hank, and I like that you asked that. It really depends. In the morning, I love a cold apple. You know what I mean? A cold apple, juicy. Gosh, that is amazing. And orange, I love oranges. In the afternoon, that's refreshing, brother. You know what I mean? But damn, I don't know what I like. It's a good question.
What I like the best is when you get those navel oranges and where half of the orange is peel or whatever, and they're icy cold. You put it in the fridge. It's icy cold, and you just bite the whole thing after you unpeel it. That's good. That's good stuff right there.
There you go. But yeah, so and whoever reason, if that's what he believes, that's what he believes. It's all fair and game. Is this what it is? No, I don't think it's fair to say Tua's better than Bob Greasy. It's two different things there. Let's stick with it. We're doing it. We'll stay with Tua. Contract update on Tua Tagovailoa.
Contract.
ESPN,
what?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah. For who? Gosh, it's crazy, But anyway, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on SportsCenter last Sunday said the Dolphins have made at least one contract offer to Tagovailoa. Despite that, Tua's camp has not been with the team on a full-time basis, or Tua hasn't been with the team on a full-time basis during quote-unquote voluntary workouts, which is likely an indication that a contract agreement is not close. Again, likely, not confirmed. This is somebody guessing now. Not taking anything away from Jeremy Fowler. Just people, they see something and they state as fact. Quote unquote Jeremy Fowler. He has missed some OTA time. I've confirmed it really could depend on how negotiations go with his contract as to whether he starts to show up or is there full time. They've had contract talks, primarily talks.
Preliminary.
I'm told the Dolphins have. Thank you. I'm told the Dolphins have made at least one contract offer, but we know how these things go. The offer apparently hasn't been good enough, or he'd probably be there full time. So the market is pretty set. We saw Jared Goff, $50+ million a year. That's going to apply to Tua and Trevor Lawrence. Okay. I don't know if you and I discussed this, so I'm going to ask this. Missing some voluntary workouts at OTAs, the start of OTAs. Fish tank. To you. Big deal or no big deal?
It's no big deal, folks. He was flying across the country to California to work out with quarterback coaches. It's not a big deal. He was bettering himself during voluntary OTAs. Notice that once they started everything up, he's there. He's still there. So until he sits out, which I don't think he's going to do, I think that he's going to put everything into this to make sure that he gets paid for more years to come. And he's going to be looking at that. And I think he's done everything. Again, this year, the year before, the first couple of years, he was fixing himself as far as his mechanics. because his mechanics were off. His strength wasn't there. There were a bunch of stuff going on. Then it was this, then it's this, then it's this. It's always something. You know what I mean? It's always something. But the kid always tries to better himself after each and every situation that he's faced. He turns around, he takes jiu-jitsu to fall better. And you saw him doing rolls and stuff like that. Instead of smacking his head, he rolled with it, which prevented him from smacking his head. I saw him do it a few times. It's all these things. And now he's flying across the country during voluntary OTAs to better himself as a quarterback. And people are whining about that too. Hey, have a big giant cup for breakfast, all right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, read some of my comments. Have a big giant cup of shut the beep up.
I was gonna say, Fishing, I'm proud of you. You said if you want to see what I'm talking about, go to my comments, go to my Twitter. My opinions are my own. He's like, good for you, Fish Tank. No, and that's something that's so true. Love, hate, whatever. Tua as your quarterback, you can't deny that every offseason and every season he's trying to improve himself, and he's improved in an area here or there. He's always working. He's always trying to get better. And again, I get it though. And I'm not going to, I see people's, but until you win in December, until you win playoff games, it's not going to matter. It ain't going to matter what you do. If you look great in the first 8 weeks of the season and then you crap the bed, and that goes for the whole team, it's not going to matter. Because you're not going to get people to flip, and you're not going to make people believe that you're any better. I've seen here, again, if you're talking about style of play, Ralphie Boy in the comments, Ralphie Boy, love you, man. Saying Tua's better than his second best quarterback since Marino and Gracie didn't have the accuracy. Again, you're talking about play. You're talking about what he can do talent wise, skill. That's different. That's a different conversation. But if you're talking about my opinion of or where I would rank him, I wouldn't put him in ahead of Greasy. Greasy's won playoff games. Greasy's won the Super Bowl twice. Where we know Marino, we say he's the number one guy. Well, he never won a Super Bowl. He won playoff games. He's been there. And if he was in the NFL today, he'd blow it up. We know he's the greatest in Dolphins history.
Well, and a lot of people leave out Earl Morrall. Without Earl Morrall, there would be no perfect season. He won more games.
No, that's fair, Fish Tank.
He won more games during the regular season than anybody else. And then during the playoffs,
because Greasy was hurt,
he started farting it out. Yeah, Greasy got his leg broken like the first week or something. And Earl Morrall played the whole year. Got into the playoffs. Earl Morrall was just starting a little slow, and Don Shula said, I want a spark. Send in Bob Greasy. Bob Greasy came in and finished the year. So a lot of people leave out Earl Morrall, but he was a huge, 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 huge part of that undefeated season.
And that's why I think it's so damn important to have a backup quarterback available to us who could come in and step in when necessary. You lose your starter and Bob Greasy, you bring in Earl Morrall, you still go to the playoffs, you undefeated and whatever. And of course, again, different NFL, different time, but you look around the league, Trevor Lawrence, they've got Mac Jones. Of course, we know Mac Jones is not better than Trevor Lawrence. He's not going to start, but damn, if Trevor Lawrence goes down a couple of weeks, I think you feel better about your backup situation. And same thing with Seattle with Geno Smith and I think Sam Howell. Geno goes down, you feel pretty, Sam Howell ain't going to start over Geno. Geno's done pretty good for himself over there. But you know damn well that if Geno goes down, you feel good. Tua goes down, you got Mike White. How do you feel? Right?
Don't do that to me, Bob.
I'm just saying, I know, knock on wood, you know what I'm saying? But think about that. It's like, goddamn.
Positive, and you throw a Mike White at me.
I'm saying, you brought up Earl. I'm just saying, let's go. It's a great point. You segued right in there. That's why I think people are like, we don't need a backup quarterback. We got Mike White. It's like, no, whoa. Like, come on. Yeah, Josh Allen, Tyrod Taylor. You think about there's a lot of moves. Kenny Pickett went somewhere. Mitch Trubisky. Justin Fields somewhere else in Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson goes down. You're not going to start Justin Fields over Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson goes down. You got Justin Fields there. You can make a case that you're going to feel pretty good. God forbid, with this offense, with this talent, with this expectation, Tua goes down. God forbid. Here comes Mike White on the field. Oh, shit. Shoot. Here we go. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I know people go, what about Skylar Thompson? I like Skylar. What about him? I was just watching. I watched it. It was at lunchtime at work, and I put on Cap's laughing. I put on
you can't help it.
I know. I wanted to watch a doc or something. And I watched it was on Drew Bledsoe, the story of Drew Bledsoe. Of course we know Bledsoe played for the Patriots, he played for the Cowboys, Buffalo, etc. Damn good quarterback for his day, number 1 overall pick. He was good for New England. And of course, we know the story. They drafted Tom Brady. Bledsoe goes down. Holy crap, it's the end where the Patriots are done. They're over. I was watching his story, and all of a sudden, here comes Tom Brady out of Michigan. We really like this kid. And blows the roof off the place.
Who is that?
That's what. There's something else,
the
right?
Patriots, they sucked as it was.
No, man, you're not listening to the story. You're giggling too damn much. Listen to the story, fish tank. I'm just saying, if you get a legitimate backup, you're not as worried. You're not as worried.
No, but they did.
I don't feel we do. We don't have that. We don't have a Tyrod. If Tyrod Taylor was our backup, man, it would be the golden goose. I'd be like, dude, Tua could be off for a few weeks. I'm fine because Tyrod Taylor, that guy who could step in and win you 2 games out of 3. Somebody brought up Ryan Tannehill the other day. Still hasn't signed a job. Maybe waiting for an injury to try to get a starter's gig. Whatever. Cap for Life just said Tannehill 30 touchdowns. I think he's saying Tua has not gone over 30. But you bring in Ryan Tannehill as a backup, he's going to look different with that no 17 number because that's Jalen Waddle. I'm down with that. I'd be okay with that. You bring Ryan Tannehill as your backup quarterback. Tua's he's hurt on the sideline. He's got to take off. Here comes Ryan Tannehill. I'm okay.
Right.
Give me a game or 2. I'm okay. But
I'm okay. Give me 3 games and win 1 or 2 of those. I'm okay.
He may, Ralph, because you know what? They don't. Who's their quarterback in Las Vegas? Aiden O'Connell. Good for him. But man, I'm just saying, somebody like that, dude. There's a veteran right there who, obviously he's familiar with Miami. Fans say whatever they want to say, but Tua's better than Mike White. You know what I mean? And I mean, Tannehill's better than Mike White.
Yeah.
And it would be, I'd feel a whole lot better confident in our backup situation. I know everybody's talking about offensive line. I know it, but our Chris Greer and company don't think it's that important, or they're not really as concerned as we are, as some Dolphin fans, where, I'm more concerned about the backup quarterback situation. I have confidence. Tua played full season last year. Do we expect that again this year? I think it would be hard to bet against or bet for, but you still need a good backup back there. You need to be confident in your backup situation. Other teams, even with guys who are not hurt all the time or whatever, and even whatever, they still went and got a guy that's available to be one of the better backups. We need a Matt Moore. That's what we need. We don't have that. Mike White is not Matt Moore.
No.
There's my rant for the day. Bobby, we need X
for the day.
I don't think Miami could 4-man player.
The whole day has been a rant from you.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. It has not been. Bobby, we need X money to sign rookies. I don't think Bobby could. No, Ralph. X money is about 17 million. I might be wrong, Ralph. I'm not going to say no, but I think they would have a little more money. Rookies shouldn't cost the full amount. Scotty right under there just popped in. The rookie class is only 2 million impact to our cap. So it's 17 million, I believe, is Xavier Howard. So if Scotty's right, and I wouldn't doubt Scotty, Scotty's pretty good with coming in the clutch for that with me, for me as well. But that would leave 15 million. And I think Miami really needs to sign, if not another safety, I think that right guard needs to be secured.
Yes.
Even though they feel comfortable with Eichenberg, I would love for them to go get a veteran guy.
I hate when they say they feel comfortable with Eichenberg. I don't feel comfortable with Eichenberg at all.
I understand. I get it. I get it. Anyway, so we're about.
He's got Tyrannosaurus on him.
I know.
You know, he can't reach anybody, and they go right by him.
You know what? I hope he, not say proves anybody wrong, because nobody's wrong about how they feel about Eichenberg, but I hope he makes us believers this year in him. I hope he.
I hope he.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you can't say
yeah.
I hope he proves us wrong. No, because he hasn't. We haven't been wrong. He is what he is right now. I hope that he turns us into believers. Where we're like, holy crap, he did it. He turned it around.
Oh, I would love it.
I'm rooting for him.
Austin Jackson's halfway there.
Hey, Austin Jackson's going into his second year under Butch Berry. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we might see a more improved Jackson. So, anyway, we might be surprised. But that about wraps it up, Fish Tank. Any final thoughts for us?
You know, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And no matter what Memorial Day means to you, go out and celebrate. Try to have a good time. Even if you've lost a loved one in the military or etc., you know, try to celebrate for them. Try to live your life happy. That's all I'm trying to say. Find the positives, because they're out there, especially in the Miami Dolphins, because we're going to have a good year.
Find the silver linings, guys. Find the silver lining. Yes. Anywho, I echo Fish Tank. Find the silver lining and have a great weekend. The coverage on FTSN does not end today. I will be back on in just a few hours doing a post-show reaction to WWE's King and Queen of the Ring for the No Holds Barred Wrestling podcast. You know, Fish Tank said, Bobby, you need to take a break. I can't. Got too much to do. So little time. So if you're a wrestling fan, if you're watching the King and Queen of the Ring, join me.
I call it wrestling.
Wrestling.
Hey, but I'm old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you used to watch with Luthez and Killer Kowalski and Andre.
No, I used to watch when Jimmy Snuka first came out, because he used to do the West Coast, and I was in Oregon when I first started watching wrestling, and that's where Jimmy Snuka started his career.
Man, that's so cool. I love, you know, people always go, oh, you're too, you know, back in my day. It's like, no, for me, I watched those guys. I loved watching those guys. My favorite memory growing up, and my parents were separated. So I used to go, you know, when my in Miami with my mother, I'd go to Blockbuster. With my father in Fort Lauderdale, Carl Springs, I'd go to Hollywood Video. And so I would rent old WWF videos. I was a WCW guy in the 90s, but I would rent WWF videos, and I would watch Andre versus Hogan and Savage and Macho King and Jimmy Snuka, Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake. Love those. And I loved when they made the WWE Network, I watched those older tapes. I love that stuff. So anyway, if you are a wrestling fan, come back over around, I think the show starts in actually 5 minutes, so I have to watch it, but 5 minutes or 8 minutes. And join me like at 3:00. I'll be on, or 3:30. I'll be on with Josh Kimmel, and we're going to break it down. We're going to react. Is Gunther is the king of the ring, or is it Randy Orton? I don't know. We'll find out. Cody Rhodes, son of Dusty Rhodes, Fist Tank. He's going to defend his world title against Logan Paul. You know, I hope Mike Tyson and Cody Rhodes knocks the Paul brothers out. But we'll talk more about that later. Until then, Dolphin fans, we appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, as always, fins up.
Fins up.